Yo, if you know what time it is, you are now tuned into the exclusive. I'm gonna be honest. Actually, you already know who this is. If you're tuned into the exclusive, Dub has been on here before, but I'm gonna give a more warmer, even better, even more positive, even more awareness to the time frame he was on it last time, where we was all the way in Zico, and now we're here, and Dub has been coming, recording with me, doing an immense amount of work when it comes down to his short form content, with his offers and everything that he's doing to help his community out. But then now he has transferred over to YouTube, and that's actually what we're gonna really talk about. We're gonna jump out the window talking about this. He thought it was gonna be this first question. But we're gonna give a warm welcome to Dub Washington, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to a bag and talking about the banks and how you need to compete with the banks, how you need to literally learn how to talk to the banks, this is the guy. How you feeling?
Man, I'm blessed beyond measure, man. I'd be a fool to complain.
Come on. Come on, that's exactly what I need to hear, bro. We just gonna jump right into it. I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm not gonna waste my time. Hey, and we got Divine behind the camera, so we know it's divine timing.
Come on.
Right now. So all in all, what I want to ask you first is this, bro. You've been helping out so many people, but when it comes to a message, you've been understanding. And when we first actually we figured this out, when we first linked two years ago, is that when it comes down to your message, I figured out that you are very good with, I call you the Alex Hormozy of funding. That's what I think of you as. You know how to literally sit down and help somebody out so they can really understand the mentality on what it takes to really go to the banks, understand the banks, and then compete with the banks to then get them what? Better money, more money, and help them get assets to get, a better future. Short form, long form, your message is there. You've accumulated over 11,000 subscribers on YouTube in a short period of time, bro. Has your message got stronger, or you just understand when it comes to your message, people need what you have?
So I would say it's more about positioning. And let's kind of frame it this way. We're really gonna talk spicy on this. So a lot of times whenever I'm talking about certain strategies and techniques, like it's symbolic of something else. So the platforms just change, but the content remained the same. So before I was on YouTube, I would say like crafting myself for long form, because we were in a, I guess like people didn't really pay attention. Like timing was, you got to catch them in the first 3 seconds, and you got to do all of this. And you got to know like your strong suit. You got to know where you're strong at, where you're weak at. So to answer your question, I have kind of been curating and crafting the long form content because I was already doing it on Instagram Live. So I was practicing. You see what I'm saying? And then you're getting live feedback. Yeah. So before I hopped out there, while everybody was saying, "Dub, you got to get on YouTube, you got to do this," I wasn't necessarily, in my eyes, ready for it, even though other people were telling me that I were. And it could be a blessing, it could be a curse, right?
Thanks.
So I had kind of been practicing with my Instagram lives before I actually hopped out there on YouTube. But then I used to get all type of feedback from my lives. I would script out, have talking topics right behind the camera as I'm looking at it, and then just flow. And then most oftentimes people would just incorporate me with long form. And once again, bro, it just kind of took off by wildfire.
And that's so true, because I remember when I first started working with you, and you really was going live on Instagram a lot. So you was practicing for the long form. Mm-hmm. And so now when I think about all of this, like I said in the beginning of this, it's like now you're speaking to crowds, bro. Some of your videos going over 10,000, 50,000, 70,000 views in one video. People are spending a long period of time with you. And what that goes back in, we're just gonna go into the messaging part. When it comes to your message, do you believe your message is so strong right now when it comes down to the economy that we're in, that they really need this? Because the job market ain't so well that I know of, and people ain't getting really paid like that. Mm-hmm. So what do you think when it comes down to your message? Is it needed right now? Is this more of a need than a want?
I think it's mostly about the pain points. We have been accustomed to, in no way, shape, or form will I say anything is ever wrong with a job, but that vehicle can only take you so far. So if you have a job, it is not designed to take you to financial freedom. I think we have it more now to where we have, let's just say Gen Z, they don't want what we grew up being implanted in us. It was you go to school, you make good grades, and then you go to college, and then you can get you a good job to pay back the debt that you took out to go to college. But now Gen Z is like, well, I see the lingering effects of, let's just say, student loans, or I see the lingering effects of working a job for 30, 40 years and then having to go and work at Walmart after you retire from that job. So I think it's more of aspiration and desire is I would say is like in abundance right now. So more people are wanting to get to financial freedom faster than what we were taught growing up, because we were already locked into going to work for 40 years. Like that was ingrained in us, but it's a different type of time. Everything is about speed now. So people want to get to further places a lot faster. So with my messaging, I think it's always been the same. I think more people are just tired of what society has deemed as successful.
And I see in your bio, you lead with God first in your bio. How did faith practically shape the way you approach money, credit, and business decisions at an early phase, and then also right now, because you still get into the bag?
So it hasn't always been that way. Oftentimes we pray for certain things, and then me and you have had conversations off camera about the prayer of Jabez, however you want to pronounce it. But the prayer of Jabez potentially or essentially says that you want to increase your territory. So before I knew about that prayer, I was increasing for more money. I was praying for more money. I was praying for more influence. I was praying for all of these things. And what ended up happening was I got it. And then I realized that what I was praying for was practically blocking me from my purpose. So sometimes we can pray for certain things, and even though it hurts us totally, God will allow us to obtain said thing just to show us like, listen, it's more than that. So early in my entrepreneurial journey, I was just praying for more money. I felt honestly like the more money that I make, the better off in position that I am. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So I literally was able to have, crazy amount of money come in a day before. I've done, $70,000 in a day. I've done, multiple six figures and all these different things. And whenever I done it, it was like the feeling was emptiness. It's like whenever you give a child something and then they have it, Christmas present, you open them and you excited, and then the very next day it's in the corner or you don't even really pay attention to it. So that was earlier in my journey, and then I made it up until, that was in 2021 whenever I started officially, and then up until July of 2025. I was locked into bag chasing. I'm waking up every day and I'm looking at how much money have I made. I'm checking my bank account before I check if I can walk. You see what I'm saying? I'm laying in the bed and I wake up looking at my bank account. And then I realized like God has blessed me with everything that I've been praying for, and this is not what I really want. So fast forward to January 2025 was one day I just decided like, man, I'm done chasing this because it's a constant cycle. I'm doing nothing different than a regular 9-to-5 worker. It's a hamster wheel and I'm chasing the money and, doing all these different things. But like, what's your life's purpose? I feel like my life's purpose is not necessarily to make money, but I say everybody eats. And spreading the information and locking in with different people and helping other people. I can't tell you, we spoke about it before, the number of times whenever I'm in the airport, I'm out with the kids and everything, and people come up like, bro, like your free content has helped me so much. So kind of to wrap the question up, is July 2025, I decided to like, listen, man, I'm gonna give all of these pretty much finances, I'm giving it away. So I started tithing more than I ever had tithed before. I started increasing my relationship with God, spending 2 to 3 hours in the Bible. I lost like 30 plus 40, almost 40 pounds just by walking. So I'm walking 7-8 miles a day and listening to the word. So I got deeply rooted in alignment. So that's been a major key for me in going into my next season, because not to go biblical with it, I know I'm long-winded, but not to go biblical, but Moses could only take the people so far.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
And after Moses had to come another phase.
Facts. So And that was deep, because at the end of the day, you say everybody eats, and you also are servicing people at the same time. You're being a service to people and a blessing to people. You became a blessing. One old guy told me this one time. It's an amazing feeling when God blesses you to become a blessing to others.
That's what and I hate to stop you right there, but this is so deep, bro, is that oftentimes we mistake consumption for contribution. What I mean by that is we may consume financial gain or blessings, but that blessing is not meant to stop with you. Sometimes it's about contributing that blessing to other people. So I'll go in and pay $20,000 or $30,000 to join the Inner Circle Mastermind, and guess what I'll do? I will then go and bring that information back to the people that paid me $2,000 for.
Facts.
A lot of people say that I'm crazy, but my goal is to ensure that everybody eat. But go ahead, man. I hated to cut you off with that, but like, yeah, that's.
Dang, bro. When you look at that from a perspective of it as an observer outside looking in, you really are spreading the knowledge, spreading the wealth, so people can understand, like, it can change their mentality to then go pass that down, because if they eat, they're going to pass it down to them. That's the only reason. You're literally, like you said, you're aligning yourself, and then when I've spoken in your community multiple times, I see them in you, I see you in them. Mm-hmm. Like, you aligning yourself with the right people, mm-hmm. and the right people are investing in you, and then you're investing in them. And they spend so much time with you based off of being in YouTube now, being on YouTube and being on Instagram and whatnot. So I'll ask you this, the next thing is what was the moment where you realized credit wasn't just about survival, but about leverage and legacy? Was it that January 25th, or was it earlier?
Nah, it was getting access to a lot of this credit, understanding the different techniques, and then looking up and seeing that I'm $175,000 in credit card debt with the knowledge that I already had. So you come to a point and you like, hold up. I'm teaching the people how to do X, Y, and Z. And oftentimes, like, we really diving deep into this episode here is like, sometimes you got to check your mentors. Make sure that they are operating the same exact way and where they're telling you to operate from. So this was 2022, and mine didn't come from frivolous spending or investing into, liabilities. It was more so that I was constantly investing into information and just kicking the can further and further down the road. So I teach how to go and get access to 0% APR funding, so on and so forth. And what ends up happening is you get to a point like, bro, I am tired of hiding debt. Because that's where the first layer is that, like, once we fix our credit and we get access to capital, we then start, okay, I get access to the capital, now I'm gonna invest here. The money has to be made back once you spend it. And whenever I realized it was more about the leverage, whenever I found myself in the hole, I'm like, bro, like, I'm $150,000 to $175,000 in debt. Of course, I'm not paying interest on it because I understand it. But that debt was over my head. I was like, listen, I gotta come out of the hole. So then it was pretty much locking in and saying, listen, like, how do I start from negative 175? So if you're watching this episode right now and you're at zero, you are ahead of most business owners and entrepreneurs. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Dang, and that's crazy, because when it comes down to credit, they always tell you, I guess the middle is, not middle, or good debt is technically when you're at zero, it's better to have bad debt, or what is it saying? Bad debt or good debt? I heard
it's better to have good debt. So good debt would be that, let's just say that I owe that $150,000 on a house. I'm still in debt $150,000, but in my situation, it was $150,000 on credit cards. But because I was, okay, I'll invest into this mentorship or invest into access to this community, which sometimes it's not about getting access to the information. Sometimes it's about getting access to the relationships. Relationships are currency. You see what I'm saying? So I would go into certain communities and pay $20,000 or $30,000, not get nothing back from it, but I gained a resource from it. And it may have not been my season to recuperate what I invested.
Ooh, that last part. It may not have been my season to recuperate what I have invested. I had to learn that the hard way because you think your ROI is going to happen instantly, and it's not. It's only on his timing.
Divine timing.
Divine. Now, you help businesses secure 50 to 250, but what separates the people who actually get funded from the ones who stay stuck watching the content?
Execution.
I was gonna say, you got some action takers in your community, bro.
Yeah, you got to. Credit is a loaded gun. It can either hurt you or it can harm you. It helps you whenever someone's trying to break into your house and threaten the livelihood of your family. It hurts you whenever you have the incorrect mindset based around credit and you think that you don't have to pay the money back when you get it, or you say, hey, I always wanted Balenciagas, or I always wanted Pradas, or I always wanted this designer, this, that, and the other, or this car. And you put yourself in a deeper hole by looking at it from the wrong lens or wrong perspective. So the difference between the people that get the results and the people that don't are people who follow through with the plan. Because I could tell you to add Kovo, Best Egg, Upgrade, Upstart to your profile. We go out and get you access to some capital. You may get, let's just say 50 to 100,000, very easy. But the reason why that doesn't last is that whenever you get into latter rounds or later rounds in your funding sequence, banks are looking at more than just the utilization. They're looking at multiple things. So the quality of the accounts and people that follow the trail or the trends, because I've amassed over $2 million in credit myself. And it hasn't been over a 6-month period. It hasn't been over a year period. It hasn't been over 2 years, right? It's been longer than that. And the people that separate themselves are people that's willing to stay the long haul. In our community, we have what they call the dope dealers mentality. We're looking for ROI right away.
Facts.
We pay that money today, we're trying to get the money back next week. Sometimes you may not recoup that investment until 6 months.
Facts.
Would you rather have a faster ROI but it be lower? Or would you rather have a ROI that is great percentage-wise and it took longer?
I hope y'all listening. I hope y'all listening, because that's some game right there. And I've definitely witnessed that even in my personal life. And I'm just going to be very transparent. The most dangerous lie people believe about business credit that's keeping broke that I feel is when we're young, we don't truly know. So like when I got my first 5,000, I spent it on something that I needed to spend it on, but I didn't pay it back right away. It was a camera. Like I invested into it, but then I was like, I just was frivolously making money off the camera. But I was like, oh, dang, I never got to pay it back. Mm-hmm. So when I think about this and I'm like, is either God gonna test you and you gotta learn the lesson, or you gonna do right the first time with that test? So I had to learn the lesson. And now, just to be honest with y'all, I'm being very transparent and honest with y'all, I've been working with him for the last 2 years. You best to believe the next big credit card I get, I will be dumbfounded if I don't use it the right way. And sometimes it has to take that because I don't know what God has planned for me down the road where he's gearing me up for something so big where I'm gonna need the funding and credit to be like, no, I need you to steward this right. So I gotta take you through this lesson.
Stewardship.
So I wanna ask you this. You push everybody eats. How do you balance abundance thinking with responsibility and discipline?
Man, that is a season that I am currently struggling with now, coming into the new year, of trying to be there. Because once again, I'm family oriented. Anytime I go anywhere, I got the whole crew with me. Like we're gonna take up, listen, we're gonna take up every bit of every.
I'm gonna tell y'all right, Mark, that to cut you off. This man travels with a family man. Out of all the clients that I have, out of all the clients I've known since day one, since I started all this is the #1 guy that brings his family everywhere, takes his family out when he comes to even work with me. There's never been a time when we shot where his family was not with him. This is a true family man, a God-fearing man, a man of valor. This man is really about his business and helping others. And I want to give you your flowers for that, but that is so true. Now you can say what you got to say.
I appreciate it. So that's a season that I'm struggling with now because you try to imagine, I'm gonna give you two different scenarios and you let me know if I get long-winded. Choice one, or father or mother one. Give you two different versions of parenthood. Father one, mother one. You put your kids in the best financial position that you possibly can. You're grinding. They go to private school. You give them anything and everything that they ask for. You protect them from an environment that's not suitable for them to grow and nourish and flourish in. And they get to be about 15, 16 years old, teenagers. They have their own mindset and they realize that this 10,000 square foot house that you have me in, I don't have to clean up the house because we have people to come and clean the house. It's always food in a pantry. It's always food in a refrigerator. I can order, I have a credit card, I can just order Uber Eats. But it's gonna be certain things and certain influences that come around them that they need guidance on outside of other people. So you go and you grind and you put them in the best financial position, and then they realize that what they really needed was time with you. You only get a child to be 1, 2, 3, 4, up to age 18 one time. They're gonna be an adult longer than they're gonna be a child. So you have to dictate where you're going to invest that time and energy while they're young. Because I'm not saying, that's why I say I'm struggling with this right now. I'm not saying that that is the right way or the wrong way. Because my kids may be missing out on a better lifestyle because I prioritize the presence with them versus rewarding them with presence right now with the TS on the end. So I could literally go out and not take them with me, and then the money that I was gonna spend to bring them with me, I can go and get them toys, and then I can go and do them everything, and they get the presents with the TS, but they miss the present with the CE on the end. So that's choice one. Or choice two, you can say, you know what? I'm going to remain humble. I'm gonna remain, another good word for it would be in alignment with my family values and principles, and spend as much time as I can, because it's one thing that the old folks say. I'm a country boy from South Carolina, and one thing that the old folks always say about them kids is enjoying them while they're young, because it don't last forever. That's the number one thing that I heard, and I always hung around older people. So I take heed to certain information, and whenever I had each one of my boys, they used to always say, enjoy them while they're young. Enjoy them while they're young. And I kept hearing that. But how often do we hear certain things and don't pay attention to it? And I said it's a reason, because they're speaking from experience. Facts. Their kids are already grown. Facts. They out of the house, and they wish they could get them youth years back. So you pick on, do I want to grind now or grind later? I don't know what the answer is. I'm trying to figure it out by myself, and that's why I'm so aligned with the Bible, because I'm like, listen, Lord, I'm here with them every day, but some financial things that I want to get in order, and I'm not blaming it on them. It's just that I don't know, bro. I'm trying to figure it out. So, you know, great question. But like I said, that's my current, I wouldn't even say a storm right now, but that's my current season that I'm in. And I'm trying to make it all work out, bro.
That's real, bro. That's real. Because at the end of the day, with me seeing your family like that, every time we shoot, you be going places, I can't say this. The positive side is they gonna remember the moments over some presents.
And we don't know, really diving deep, and I hate to take it this way, bro, but we don't know when that clock gonna stop.
That's right. Everybody got their time, and the Most High does not tell us when He's gonna take us home.
You see what I'm saying? So I can honestly say with mine, the time that I spent has been curated around the fam, man, because that's my why. Like, that's the reason why I do all that I do. That's the reason why I'm investing thousands and thousands of dollars into building a YouTube channel, into my personal brand, getting into mentorships, because at the end of the day, like, I'm straight.
Facts.
I'm straight. But he who leaves an inheritance.
Ooh. I was talking about that with him a while back. I want to ask you this, and this is off. That's not even one of the questions, but the seriousness about leaving inheritance, the seriousness about your legacy. You're doing all this YouTube push we talked about. You're doing the Instagram. You're doing these digital aspect of yourself, how do you feel if one day, and this is being really honest, you're gonna pass?
Mm-hmm.
You're not just doing this for yourself or even for, you know, other people, but you're technically doing this for your sons, because one day they're gonna be at an age where they need to know, why did you do what you do? What do I need to do? And how do I do it? I believe with me watching you, you have literally been creating a library that they can follow. And even not even just if they just cut off the freaking audio and they just see you on how you've been moving, it just tells a story. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? Because knowing that's gonna be there one day, how do you feel about that? Seeing your sons be like, damn, he was there.
There's no other person outside of me and my wife that's going to care about our kids as much as we do. We care about them more than they care about themselves. And that's the primary soul of a parent. So who else better to learn from than your parents? Your parents tell so much about you, how you operate. And I had, you know, great relationship with my mother, right? Repairing my relationship with my father, and certain things that I wish that I would have got exposed to. And whenever I say leaving an inheritance, people often get that misconstrued with leaving money.
Facts.
An inheritance doesn't always equate to money. An inheritance is morals, principles,
Facts.
respect. I have a manifesto of 10 different principles that we abide by. You see what I'm saying? And just like each company has a mission statement, what's your family's manifesto? What's your family's mission statement? What do you stand on? So whenever you are responsible for someone else's life, more important than your life, you got to make sure that you leave them an inheritance. So God work, financial literacy, respect, honor, a multitude of things that they're being left. It's not just the inheritance part, because guess what? I can leave them no money, but they know how to structure their businesses, or businesses that I'm going to leave them to go and get 100 million from the banks. If each one of mine got 3 to 4 LLCs at the age of 18, they've been added as authorized users across my credit card accounts, and then they are controllers and different things on my businesses. So guess what? They've been getting paid a salary since they were 4 or 5 years old. I have put you in position. So that inheritance is taken care of. You don't want to leave them money and they don't have no structure, because guess what? 80% of first generation millionaires fumble the bag. So I don't want to teach you about the money part. That's what my content is there for. I want to teach you how to operate as a man. I want to teach you how to operate as a father. You see what I'm saying? So you with me, and and you're enjoying the fruits of the labor. That's very beneficial to them, because they see they're not influenced by the wrong things. Because kids in our community, they're gonna see Lil Baby, they're gonna see all of these rappers and they're influenced by them. But if I understand credit to understand how to leverage that to take my kids courtside to where they can actually don't have to see them on TV, they can see them in person. Oh, that's just another person right there. Sometimes the play is not about the game. Sometimes it's about who they get to see, that everybody else seen on TV, but they seen them in person. And we sit beside you.
And that's fact too, because that man his kids be with all the courtside people that be coming to the Hawks.
Yeah.
Yo, man, that is fire, bro. That is fire. You truly are creating a legacy in the digital realm, but then also in the physical realm at the same time. And that's one thing I like about you the most, is that when you meet them in person, nothing changes. The same person you see online is the same person you're gonna see in real life. And all in all, we're gonna get a little bit spiced before we end this, because I gotta ask some questions that's really gonna spike some interest, because we're gonna definitely need y'all to sign and tap into that link below, because I heard that you got a what out.
You got to drop the school community, man. It's updated. A lot of people are dropping outdated information and selling it. You see what I'm saying?
That's one thing you be doing too. You definitely update your content a lot, because certain things change in the industry.
Credit is evergreen. So things that could work last week no longer is applicable. And because I have mentees who are running plays, I'm consistently running plays. I was sitting around with family this holiday, right? Everybody sitting around talking. I'm bored. love family, but they're not operating on the same exact level. They're talking about basketball and football, who's in the playoffs. I'm like, bro, let me just run a live play real quick. Brandon got 45,000 from Wells Fargo.
And I seen it on your damn, I showed you that, Devon. That's the one, yo. I showed him, I was like, bro, I literally was in the car with Devon. I was like, bro, just man a play right here.
Just ran a live play, just to check it out.
When in the stories I showed you, I was like, dude, this man he just made $45,000.
Yeah, just ran it, bro. And just sometimes you got to do that, and then don't let your environment kind of influence where you at. And I'm not saying that family is bringing you down. You need that for grounding. You need that to keep you humble, right? Because listen, the way y'all see me ain't the same way my people see me. They gonna be like, bro, shut up. My cousins all the time, bro, mailbox head. You see what I'm saying? Like, my head shaped like that. You need that. You see what I'm saying? Because we often get success, and then people can't talk to you that way. You like, bro, who you think you is, bro? Still mailbox head.
Facts.
But in actuality, bro, it's like, don't allow your environment to kind of bring you down. You see what I'm saying? Somebody got to be the example.
Come on.
So yeah, bro.
Come on, man. Before we get off here, man, I'm gonna ask you something deep. I know you're talking about reinvestment. Once someone gets access to capital, what's the first mistake they usually make with it?
Investing. So everybody gonna say, you get access to the money, and let me not say you don't supposed to invest. I'm gonna say, understand the strategy of why you're investing. If you get into real estate, there's no guarantee that you're going to make money in it, despite what anybody tells you. If you get into the stock options and trading in the market, there's no way that you're going to guarantee make money. I don't care who's teaching you. I don't care if you go to the best mentor out there, you still have risk to downside. The only way that I have seen that you can multiply your money with no risk is if you take the bank's money once you get access to the capital, and then you go and invest that into other banks. How could you ever lose? Because I got access to 100,000. Instead of me putting it into real estate options or anything else, which has a potential to fail, I put it into other banks. And then when I put the money into other banks, they lend to me because they see that I have money sitting in their account. And now I'm just multiplying what's available to me.
That's what you was breaking down when we was at Anderson's place with the whole family structure.
You see what I'm saying? So
I get
100,000 at 0% interest. I don't take the money to go and invest into real estate. And I'm not saying that's a bad strategy.
I feel you.
But understand that there's risk associated with it. Where is the risk in we are doing it anyway. Where's the risk in putting money into a bank? As long as it's not over 250,000, meaning that it's FDIC insured. As long as you stay at 249,500, 249,999 is federally insured. So if the bank goes underwater, they got to give you that money back. The FDIC will, the government will. So when can you ever lose by deposit? That's the only guarantee, is that the bank will give you your money back, or the FDIC will give you your money back if the bank fails, taxes and death, and the lawyer coming back. Those are the only guarantees in life. So what most people do is they take that money and then they go and invest into something. I'm saying, bro, you're doing it all wrong. I'm gonna take the 100,000. I'm gonna go and build out, let's just say 10 other banking relationships. If each one of those banks give me access to $10,000, I have now turned 100,000 into 200,000. Now I can recoup my original investment, and then I can go and invest that right away. But then I have another nest egg of another 100,000.
Look, and that's where the exclusive is gonna cut, because y'all need to go to his y'all need to go to his page. Y'all need to go to his page. The link is gonna be below. I'm gonna leave y'all on the cliffhanger, because I know y'all just listened to that and was probably like, wait, whoa, y'all probably rewinded. Y'all definitely have rewinded that back, because that even messed up my mind for a minute when I was like, yo. Because truly, when you think about it, you could be doing what? Creating all these nest eggs, and over time, what are you gonna do?
Guess what? You take the first 100,000, build other banking relationships, recoup the money from that, you can invest. But then the other 100,000, if you really want to get spicy, all of them are access to 0% APR. You have 0% APR for a year. Guess what? You're gonna take that other 100,000, and while you have this original 100,000 working, the extra 100 that you got access to, you take that to build more banking relationships. So once you double that 100, you turn it to 300. Then you go to 300 to 400, 400 to 500. I've literally done it with access to over 2.3 million currently to this date.
And you are now watching the exclusive. If you are not tuned in, then I'm gonna be honest, you are definitely tuned out. I want y'all to tap below. His profile is below, his YouTube is below, everything of his information is below. One last thing I'm gonna say before I get off here. This year, we are going to be having a big ass masterclass in the mansion. He is gonna be one of the speakers that are going to be there speaking about this exact subject.
You're breaking the strategies all the way down.
All the way down, because if you are wanting to start a business, you're going to have to know things like this to do what access funding and then do the things you wanna do in your life. I thank y'all for tuning in. Please, 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 please go follow him. And the last thing, I'll see y'all on the other side. Thank you for watching.
Let's get it.
Yo, what?